I told you, this guy's a genius.
Self-proclaimed, maybe.
Well, as long as it works for him.
Exactly my point.
Awesome. Okay, it's just right away, just continue. Is it still recording? No. Now it's recording. So do it. Talk about something else. It's very hard, and that's my message. I'm being drawn into this emotional self because we have an emotional body, okay? And that can be, it can overtake you. And I'm being drawn into this emotional body. Like, I'm really being drawn into it. And that just shapes my reality. And then if I sit around and I'm only my emotional body, then what will happen? I will be weak and I will sit around moping and I will eat shit and just keep drinking alcohol day after day after day, because I never learned how to distinguish myself from my emotional body. So I don't know much about this because I don't really read. I also don't watch any videos and I get bored. Sometimes people tell me something and I appreciate that. Yeah. I do have people that I may consider friends, right? But I don't trust them too much because everybody's selfish. And now I don't want to continue anymore because it's such a long walk to where I actually want to be. And the problem is that once I'm there, I still have to go back. And my feet are already sore. And what I don't understand is, you've seen me, or at least you know or could know how much I already have walked in bare feet. And yet I still feel pain. Okay, I think it's time for another. So the question I need to ask is, how fast do I need to be where I want to be? And how much more can I carry? How much more can I carry? Emotional baggage. People give me shit. I learn to love it. Tough. Tough. You give me shit, I learn to love it. Tough. Right? I meet friends. You see, I can only talk about emotions. Maharaji said to Ramdas, Ramdas only talks about God. You cannot trust him with anything else. Because he's a mischievous prankster. I can talk to you about, there's this story in the yogas of the Bhagavad Gita about the, Nixon-China policy. But he's a prankster. He's gonna fool you. He's gonna just slip some kind of opinions in there. And that's what he actually did not get. But now I give you the problem. Let's say Ramdas would have allowed people to get him to talk about the Nixon China policy. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this just to annoy you. Just sometimes what I do. I just talk a lot to annoy you. Because I already understood what life is about. And that's enlightenment. Now I'm just dealing with it. Because life is about, in a way, suffering. So if you can manage to suffer and make the most of it, and what does that tell you? Well, everybody's suffering, aren't they? Everybody's suffering in their own way. Hey, you can buzz and land wherever you want, but don't go into holes. Don't go into holes, yeah? I get it. I'm irritated. Yeah? I get it. I'm irritated. Is that what you want me to say? As soon as I said it, she left. Interesting. Let's see if she'll come back. Yeah, I get it. I'm irritated. And what does that even mean? Like, what's the word irritated? You know, I cannot talk about anything but emotions. Like right now, you know, I could talk to you about Kundalini Yoga. I could talk to you about, I don't know, symbiosis. I can talk to you about loving nature. I can talk to you about anything but how easy life is. Because I may have experienced a lot of things and I may have learned a lot of things. But what I cannot say is that it's easy. You know? It's easy when you relax into it. But what you have to realize is that you cannot relax into everything. And you can never relax into anything all the time. You can relax sometimes. You know, I can now take a couple of beer and drink them. And then I can come here and I can talk. But I cannot relax too much into the idea that I'm a teacher. Because I'm not. The teaching is life itself. And I'm suffering. And I'm talking about it. And I still do what I do. I use my suffering. I use what I have. I'm suffering. I have emotions. I make art with it. And I talk my suffering into the videos. And when I talk to people about it, they say, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't talk about that you don't have money. You know? What, should I act like I have? Should I act like there is a woman next to me? She's not. So that's just a fantasy. And it's still a woman that I think she could be it. And I think I'm not at the point anymore where I say I just have to wait until I meet her. I'm just waiting for something to spark me. When she was my spark, I loved it. And then she left because I was irritated and she couldn't deal with it. And I'm gonna remain being irritated because that's part of my nature. I am an angry spirit. And most women don't know how to deal with this. Yeah, I get it. You like water, but this is not so good for you. you know? So what's the message now? The wasp is back. Okay, there's no message. The wasp is gone. And then the fly comes. So you see, now it's getting heavy. And that's the problem with drinking. You relax into the moment, but when you sit here and you drink one beer, oh, it tastes so good. You drink another beer, oh, it tastes so good. You drink another beer and you fall asleep. And then where do you go? Like, I still have to find the strength to go where I want to be. I just walked for 400 meters. And then I thought, just relax a bit more. You know, I can do this because this is too far. But going back to my apartment? No way. Not yet, not yet. And now I know what's gonna drive me there because I have 3 beer. That's the second one. I'm gonna drink this now, and then I'm gonna do what I came here to do, which is slackline. And then I'm gonna carry this beer back home and I'm gonna make pumpkin soup. And then I'm gonna put the beer in the fridge. And then I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna put it in the freezer actually, that it's cooler faster. And that means, you know, I carry the beer with me, but I can't touch it until it's cold enough. And then I'm gonna cook soup. Pumpkin soup. I'm gonna fry onions, let's say 2. And then I'm gonna take garlic salt. And then I'm gonna put no cloves, but garam masala, possibly. Ginger, chili, certainly chili. I'm telling you now so I don't have to film it. And then so you have to continue is what I'm saying. Always. No matter who you meet, who you think you lost, there's always someone else. And if there's no one else, then there's you. And that's what I realized. There's always me. So if there's no one, then there's me. And I think that's what it's about. Realizing you've got it all. You have it all. You need no one. And I can suffer and make a real show out of it. And make it look like, you know, I'm really suffering. Just that you pity me enough to buy one of my books. Or I just get back to the place where I say, no, I have it all. So I do not need anyone. Which is why I can't say, I don't care how I feel about this woman. Because I've got strength. I've got determination. I still would like to have sex. I think I'm building something up. And when there is a woman and she's interested, I'm going to sleep with her. And now you continue to walk. And I'm going to keep this. Right. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to continue to walk. Because that's what life is. It's a shit show. But if you've got a purpose, at least you have a certain kind of direction. Even if it's an uncertain kind of direction. And when you can go hiking and bare feet and no shirt without feeling stupid about it, I think you may have learned something. I left the feather, I realized that, because it was stupid. Because the feather doesn't give me purpose. It's just something I cling to, because there's nothing else. You know, the feather is just nature that I find in a city environment, and that says to me, I'm still here, you know. Another feather. There's just feathers everywhere, because there's birds. And because there are birds, I know there's nature. And because I know there's nature, I know there's gonna be more of it again. But what I will never tell you is that it's easy. Because when it's easy, it's hard. And when it's hard, it's easy. And it may be all of it and nothing at the same time. And for me, it's one of the hardest things to just let go of suffering and simply accept the pain, you know? Because my heart is bleeding. Because it's been stabbed 1,000,000 times, you know? If you fall in love with a woman and the woman turns to another man, she's stabbing you right in the heart. And there are women that do this on purpose. I'm just saying. There are women who do this on purpose because they just hate men for whatever reasons they have. And then they're just gonna stab you. Just gonna stab you. Just, you know, that movie. Is it Chinese or something? Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger or something? Or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? I don't know. Something like this. And what it's about? Well, there's this one scene in the desert. You know, I downloaded it from archive.org. Just saying. And it had no sound, but subtitles. And there's this one scene with this young Chinese woman with the Barbarian in the desert. And she says, I want my comb back. And he says, well, I could use it to brush my horse, to brush fleas out of my horse. That's just the subtitle, right? There's really no sound, like not even the music. You know, and then she stabs him. And then they have sex. And the question I ask myself when I watch this, what the fuck, is this how women are? I hope not. You know, I really hope not, because that just looks like really tedious. You know, I mean, I go to great length to just punch myself in the face, basically. I go to great length. But sorry, you know, you sit there, she says, I want the comb. And you say, you know, I could use it to brush fleas out of my horse. And then she says, I want the comb. And then she takes something, I don't know what she took, and she jabs it into his chest, you know, not like a dagger. She took something that's like, let's say you would take a pencil and let's just jab it into a man's chest, you know. It's not gonna go deeper than, let's say, a centimeter. And then you just wait. I'm just gonna finish this. But the image that comes up, and what I'm being urged to say is, talk about not Morpheus. Fucking hell, you know. Wow, where does all of this stuff come from? Talk about Morpheus, you know. Talk about Morpheus, yeah. You know, I'm Morpheus. Red pill, blue pill. Wake up, you know. Wake up, you know. I already woke up, so I just continue talking about the shit that I have, and that's what I have, right? I have emotions. Everything else is just fleeting. People are fleeting, but what I always carry is the emotions. I meet someone, I have an emotion. The person is gone and I may never see them. What lingers is the emotions. So that's everything that I have. That's all that I have, it's emotions. I'm an ocean of emotion. I'm swimming in the ocean of emotion, and that's what I speak about in the book called The Universe at Large. And to some degree I think I must be magic. That's what I speak about in these books. Just like, figure it out. I can just say I recorded it. You have to know what to do with it.